It's the Brad and John Show.
Hey, John, what's your 1020? What's your 1020, John?
My 1020 is I'm driving down by Augusta Bottoms Road because I'm taking a look at transmitters.
No, transmission towers. That is John Combest. It's October 20th, and this is the BJ Show. This is the B block, and we talked about this in the A block, the 1020 in CB lingo and some police department lingo is location. 1020, it's 10 code. Okay, John, you ready for the top three? Well, my top three. I get to do this. And how do you start it off, John?
It's time for Brad's top three.
It's time for Brad's top three.
It is. The ladies do such a good job at that. But what we have to do, their union says twice.
It's time for Brad's top
So we give them that twice. And then we start off with,
It's number three.
John, if I gave you 10,000 guesses, you would never guess what I'm going to talk about as number three.
Oh, I can't wait, Brad. What is it?
John, I want you to go to a website. I'm going to give you the web address here, uphe.org. That's U as in Union, P as in Papa, H as in Hotel, E as in Echo, uphe.org, okay?
Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment.
Okay, this is sort of a weird one out in left field for me. There's two guys who started this show years ago called the Diesel Brothers. Did you by any chance ever see this show? I can't remember what network it's on. It might have been on Discovery or something like that. Have you ever?
No, of course not.
Okay, two guys in Salt Lake City who worked on trucks, and specifically they worked on diesel trucks, and they showed how they could increase their performance and things like that. And they did some things that were illegal, where they did, as we call it in the motor world, they did deletes, which means they deleted certain emission controls for the diesel trucks. Particularly, and I say particularly, not ironically, but they deleted the DPF, which is the diesel particulate filter, okay? And they were rolling coal. You know what? You're familiar with that term, John? You know what rolling coal means?
I'm not, no.
Rolling coal means you adjust your diesel engine so when you accelerate very hard, it throws out lots of black smoke, okay? That's called rolling coal, okay? They did their show. They were on TV, and who was watching the show among all the fans of the Diesel Brothers? The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Hold on, I got to clear my voice here. Long story made short, they got nailed with violation because they were tampering with vehicles' emission systems. They were selling some products, some components that essentially they were like selling pipes that would, you could put in place your diesel particulate filter. Okay, they got nailed, they got charged, and they had to pay a fine. Well, unfortunately, and this happened, I believe, 8 or 9 years ago, the organization that you're looking at, the Utah Physicians for Healthy Environment, have gone after them for 9 years, and they've tormented Diesel Dave and Diesel Sparks. And they've got a very successful YouTube channels. Okay, a couple YouTube channels. Last week, as Dave Sparks was heading to the Salt Lake City airport to fly out of town to go to a speaking engagement, because he's a very famous guy right now, he rolls up at the airport, gets out of his car, and immediately 2 or 3 SUVs come and surround him, and he's put in handcuffs and taken to the Utah County Jail in handcuffs, put in solitary confinement. Do you know why, John?
Why?
Because of the UPHE, the Utah Physicians for a Healthy Environment, have been suing him for 9 years, and they essentially went to the court and said, he has been contemptuous in court because of the fact that we keep asking him for documents, and he won't provide them. Now, what's interesting about this is it's ironic that over the weekend I heard an interview with it was either Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump. I can't remember which one. Sometimes they're interchangeable to me. And the question was, how much has all this litigation cost your father? And the answer was, take a guess. Take a guess what all the lawfare cost his father, okay?
Okay, yeah.
No, take a wild guess.
Wait, how much would it cost Donald Trump?
Yeah, how much?
$10 million.
They claim $400 million. That's what they paid in legal fees to defend themselves against, because remember, Letitia was trying to get their businesses kicked out of New York and trying to get him thrown in jail and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I go back to these nutbag physicians who are suing this guy, Dave Sparks, and been doing it for years. It's just gotten ridiculous. Now, the interesting part of it is that if you are a fan of these guys, and I'm not a super fan, but I've heard the rumors that he's being harassed by these people, and they're suing him all the time. After he got thrown in jail for 3 days in solitary confinement. Now, keep in mind, John, this guy is like a big YouTube star, and to the point where he keeps getting hassled by these doctors. They throw him in jail for 3 hours, or for 3 days. He's in solitary confinement. He's come out, and now he's essentially said, you know what? I've never mentioned the UPHE. I've never mentioned the attorney, and he gives the guy's name Reed Sars. He gives all these people's names. I'm not saying that you should do anything, wink, wink, nod, nod, but these guys have made my life miserable. Maybe it's time for you to make their life miserable. He didn't say that in so many words, but that's what he said. John, your opinion of that?
Well, I mean, the latter part seems like he's quite angry. I mean, not knowing the details of this. He's saying that people get back at him. I hope that nobody would take some sort of action that would be drastic against that group. But what I don't get is, isn't Utah a Republican state? Like, can't somebody with some stroke come in and say, what are you guys doing?
Well, the interesting part of this is that the attorney, and I've done some research on this, and actually once I got into this, it's actually sort of a fascinating case. The attorney is from Wyoming. And matter of fact, you can find him real easily. His name is Reed Sars, R-E-D, if you want to look him up, S-A-R-S, or maybe S-A-R-Z. I can't remember which one it is. And he prides himself on the fact that he is a environmental attorney who sues anybody who he deems is damaging the environment. And he's the attorney. And the interesting part of this is that Diesel Dave tells the story that even though the judge, and he got the crazy part of it was they got a judgment for $111 million, which was reversed on appeal to practically nothing. But the interesting part of this is, and I do think this is sort of fascinating, is he says that the way the Utah state law reads, that even let's say you got a $10 million judgment against me, and it got reduced to $100,000. But you got the judgment plus attorney's fees. The attorney's fees don't degrade. So in other words, if the attorney said, well, we spent $30 million suing Brad, and the judgment got knocked down to $10,000, you'd still owe the attorneys $30,000. So he gives examples of all these crazy things. Like, for example, he says that the attorney went to the Meta headquarters in California to get the records of how much money Meta is paying Diesel Dave and his people through their Facebook pages. And the answer is none. So he spends 2 days on the road. He actually sneaks into the Meta headquarters, the whole bit, and the point being, he knew that he was making no money from Meta, but yet he gets to bill his time and expense and all his travel expenses because of the fact that he's got to pay all the legal fees. Get what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah, Brad.
They're just running the meter, and they're just being buttheads. And Diesel Dave's point on this is, he essentially says, look, if these guys are really for the environment, and this hits another one of my hot buttons, if they're really for the environment, they're suing all these people. What are they doing to improve the environment? And the answer to this is nobody knows. It's a 501c3, not for profit, and everybody's getting paid. People are getting paychecks out of the company. But yet, what have they done to improve the environment? They can't give any results. You see what I'm saying on this? It's to the point where it's
Now they make the argument that they're the good guy, and they're holding the bad guys and the polluters accountable.
You know, Dave said they made a mistake. They repaid the federal government. They paid the fine. Move on with your life, and they won't let them. Okay, I mean, I know this is sort of in the nerd kind of stuff, but this is problematic to me because it's emblematic. Problematic, emblematic, isn't that good? I use those two matics. It's emblematic in the fact of, if someone wants to ruin your life, they can get some butthead attorney that just sue and sue and sue and sue and sue you, and they're going to sue you into bankruptcy because of the fact that they've got, like in this case, this guy's making a contingency. He's making contingency off the lawsuit, and Diesel Dave's got to hold on, man. Diesel Dave's got to come up with money to pay his attorney. Same thing with Trump. What did it cost Letitia James to go after Trump? Nothing, because the state paid for it. What did Trump have?
So she got paid handsomely to do that.
Right, exactly. Okay, my that's my point. Okay, belabored a little bit. Okay, number 2.
It's time for Brad's number 2. It's time for Brad's number 2.
And I know John's going to say, Brad, Why do you listen? And you know what, John? It's somewhat like some nights in the middle of the night I can't sleep, so I get my bamboo shoots and I stick them under my fingernails because of the fact that I just
Which was actually this weekend in St. Louis, a highlight of a pro wrestling match. John Moxley took literal bamboo shoots and dug them into Darby Allin's fingernails, Brad. And I thought, hey, look, it's Brad tuning the dial to NPR.
There's a show on called On the Media, okay? And this particular episode featured a guy who is in jail for murder, okay? And they interviewed him from his, well, I guess not from the jail cell because he doesn't have a phone in jail, but apparently from the prison phone, okay? And the point of the interview was this guy has written a book, and he's complaining the fact that true crime shows, podcasts and like Dateline on TV and 2020 and things like that, make these criminals look much worse than they are. Actually, it makes them out to be devils, out to be demons, when, you know, they may have murdered 3 people, but they're really a good person. He knows it because he's in jail with them. And I'm thinking to myself, am I living in an alternate universe? Is this guy essentially saying we should say, whoa, that guy, he killed 3 people, and he cut their heads off, and he dismembered their bodies and threw them down. Oh, he's really a good guy. We shouldn't do a true crime show about him. That's horrible because it ruins his reputation, John.
Yeah, so what does he want? What's his call to action?
Oh, there shouldn't be any of these true crime shows. That's the call to action. No true crime shows because it's making these people look bad. I'm thinking to myself,
wow,
what alternate universe am I living in? And the interviewer kept saying, well, now, you know, and he's asking him straight questions. To me, I would have had a field day with this guy. I go, and he even talks about his murder. This guy, and this guy writes books. I don't know his name. I should have copied it down. And apparently he's written like 3 or 4 books, and he's making money from prison. I don't know how he's, you know, maybe it's like the Son of Sam Law where he's not really making the money. Somebody's making money. Maybe his kids are making money. I don't know. But how in the world, you know, and this On the Media is, this show's always, and everything they do is like anti-Trump, 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 anti-Trump. And on another program on NPR, I'm going to drop these 2 together. They were talking about the No Kings rally, and one of the NPR reporters made the comment saying, well, a lot of people are unhappy with the Trump administration because they've been in power for 9 months now, and they haven't really done anything. I'm thinking to myself, did I just hear that? What are most people complaining about? That Trump's doing too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. So are they mad, as I saw someone else say, are they mad about the peace or are they mad about the prosperity?
I have no idea. I thought to myself, did I just hear her say that? That Trump has not done anything in 9, 10 months, wherever long he's been in office? I guess it's been 10 months now, right? Well, it'd be exactly 10 months tomorrow, right? Isn't it official to the 20th or 21st of January? So
yeah, you're right.
Okay, exactly 10 months. Okay, I'm thinking to myself, okay, the guy shut down the border. He's done this, 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 he's done this. He's executive orders, and wasn't the whole, and the irony of is she was reporting about the No Kings rally. Wasn't the whole point of the No Kings rally that we now have a king and he's just doing all this stuff by his own? He's not paying attention to the Constitution. He's upending the democracy. Get what I'm saying, John?
Yeah. I mean, so they're undermining their whole argument.
I thought to myself, what universe am I in? I mean,
this is just, to be fair, this is just one big NPR liberal that doesn't necessarily speak for the whole liberal movement, you know?
I just couldn't believe it. I'm going like, man, I don't. You know, and what's interesting about it is right after this, there's a promo comes on. Hi, this is I can't remember the name. We're so thankful for you sending us the money. Yes, the Trump administration cut back our funding through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, but you banded together with us, and we've got all the money back because you people have given us money to keep doing what we're doing. Yes, we've got the largest news staff in the entire St. Louis area, larger than the Post-Dispatch, but yet we only turn out about 2 stories a day, and on the air we only have one person who's ever on the air, and if it wasn't for Jason Rosenbaum, there would be no news on NPR at all. Right, okay. I'm done with that. Ready for number 1, John?
Yeah, let's do it.
And now, big finish, Brad's number.
John, I'm not going to say that what you said last week isn't true, and I think you actually put this in one of the recaps, but this morning when I'm doing my show prep, yes, I do show prep for this, I saw a Facebook post from Randy Raley, specifically from Randy Raley for U.S. Congress. And I thought to myself,
nice.
Well, I thought to myself, this must be an old post, but it turns out it's him. I don't know where he was at. He's at a No Kings rally, and he's walking around asking people if they were Palestinians. Now, I don't know why he's doing that, but I thought, and it said, I looked at the title at the bottom of the page, and it said, Randy Raley, U.S. Congress. Remember, you and I had a discussion. He talked about the fact that he dropped out because he had a heart attack, but then he talked about the fact that the heart attack wasn't as bad as he thought it was, so he may get back in. You said he won't. Apparently, he's back in. Do you know anything more about this?
Nice. And so we'll see how long this lasts, and it's October of 2025 right now, right?
October 2025, so we're essentially, 12 months and, 3 weeks away from election? Something like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it makes sense that he's pretending that he's going to stay in the race now.
Which, by the way, what you sent me, we'll talk about that in C Block, because I have an announcement that I want to make, okay?
Oh, wow, Brad. Who's going to be your treasurer? Are you going to be your own treasurer?
We'll talk about
it. Do you think after all the years you have spent working with Agnes, do you think she would fall on this sword and actually put her name as your treasurer?
I will tell you this at this point in my life. If I were on fire, Agnes wouldn't cross the street to urinate to put me out. So how about that?
That's not true.
Yeah, it is true. Okay, we ready for the next segment, John?
Yeah, Brad, let's do it.
C Block is coming up.